South Korea's renowned classical pianist Yeol gained acclaim through internationally distinguished piano competitions. Her graceful interpretations have caught the attention of global audiences. She is showing off her kaleidoscopic qualities as an artistic director for a music festival, a performance director, and a writer. She is a sensitive, emotional, and powerful pianist and is the role model for many aspiring pianists. She is paving her distinct path on the global stage with her thrilling performances, so let us now meet pianist Yeol on Heart to Heart. It is my pleasure to welcome Korea's virtuoso pianist, Yeol, who is praised by international classical music critics and the public. Hello and welcome back to Heart to Heart.
Hi.
Say hello to our viewers.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Yeol. I'm a pianist. It's such a pleasure to be back here after 3 years.
So once again, thank you for joining us. I know you're very busy. You reside in Germany, but you are here for a very special reason. We'll get to that in just a bit. But
Right.
So you've been on Heart to Heart 3 years ago.
That's right.
And here you are. Yes, everyone asking you to appear on their shows, and you must be very busy. I'd like to begin our talk about your album that was released quite recently, back in April of this year. So could you tell us about this album?
Yeah, it consists music of Mozart that I played the very famous C major concerto by Mozart, and the other solo works are sonatas, one sonata, one variations, and fantasy by Mozart.
I heard that there is a very special story behind this album. You recorded the original soundtrack for the movie Amadeus.
Not me, but it's the band.
Okay,
Yeah.
the band. And you actually worked on this album that was released in April with Sir Neville Mariner, who was actually regarded as the master maestro of Mozart. So could you tell us about this?
Yeah, he apparently is the great master of Mozart. He was very famous for his soundtrack for the movie Amadeus, and his band, the Academy of St. Martin de Fios, they are really one of the most famous people for this period of music, Mozart and Haydn and Beethoven. And I met Sir Neville 2 years ago, in 2016, when they came for their Asian tour, and they had 2 concerts in South Korea, and I was their soloist, so that's how I met him. And then after the concert, he came to me and said, like, "How old are you?" And I was like, "I'm nearly 30." And he said, like, "Oh, you should then really start your recording for entire Mozart concertos. Then you're finishing it by the age of 50 because there are like 25 of them." So he said it, and I was like, "Are you serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, we really have to do it." And I was really happy to receive the offer, and thanks to my management team, the process was really quick. And 2 months later, we recorded the first concerto.
Soon?
Yeah,
Right away?
Yeah, right away.
Right away. So it's amazing how Sir Neville Mariner actually, walked up to you very casually and said, "Hey, let's do this."
Yeah.
And you actually did begin very fast, 2 months, you said.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he wasn't able to, I guess, complete the album or record with you until the very end.
That's right. Yeah, we were supposed to record 2 concertos by Mozart, one famous C major concerto and another one less known concerto. And so we recorded the first recording session in June 30th, I remember, 2016. Then we were supposed to do another recording session in February 2017. Then he passed away in October 2016. So we were in a big shock. and we just couldn't do the rest of the process. And I was thinking what to do, and then I and other members of the team decided to just fill the album with my solo works instead.
Pianist Yeol Son worked on her favorite Mozart pieces with maestro Sir Neville Marriner, and the two shared an intimate relationship centered on music. Their project was not seen through to the end, and Yeol Son will remember it for the rest of her life. I've read in several interviews that you said that you dedicate this album.
Yeah, yes I did. Yeah.
So I'm sure you've made some, it's very meaningful and memorable, I guess, moments or memories together.
Right.
Now, I heard that you're planning a performance or concert in Korea very soon. It's in October this year. So will the audience be able to enjoy the pieces from this album?
Yeah, apparently, yes. I will play the famous C major concerto. I think I'll have, we're actually deciding right now, but I think I'll play one more concerto by Mozart.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And when will that decision be made?
It has to be within this month.
Okay, very soon. You won the silver medal at the International Tchaikovsky competition. This was back in 2011.
Right.
And you also won for the best chamber concerto performances and the best performance of the commissioned work. Obviously, as I mentioned in the very beginning of our show, you are praised by international classical music critics and the public. You are just loved by so many people, but I hear that you do not enjoy being in the spotlight. How is that possible? You are in the spotlight. You're receiving all the attention, but you don't enjoy being in the spotlight?
I think it's two different things. It's like I don't want to go under a spotlight in real life. And I actually think I'm not the only one. It's like I know many of the people who are in my business or something similar, like showbiz, like actors or singers. I know many of them very shy. And I think it's kind of correlated because it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have anything to say, even if you're a shy person. It's just that you don't really want to create your own spotlight.
I see. Yeah.
But the desire that you want to express about yourself, or if you want to speak about something, those things are actually accumulating in yourself. But when the chance is given, you're completely free. So the stages are actually just a given chances.
Right.
So we feel completely free in those settings. And I think, it's kind of making sense.
I understand what you mean. So although you don't enjoy being in the spotlight, well, reality, you are everyone's like focus and attention on you. So people even say that you play the piano as if you are conversing. You've heard about this, have you not?
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yes. So is that what you do intentionally? Is that what you try to do?
Yeah, that's what I probably try to do at most, because I think every source of music, I mean the form of music has to convey its speaking quality, because otherwise it just becomes sound. And I think sound, in my opinion, every sound could be beautiful, like even the sound of your children chatting to each other, or even the sound of birds tweeting, or even the sounds of nature, like waves or winds. Anything could be beautiful, but they don't necessarily speak to you. And why music is so special is because it actually speaks to you.
Yeah.
So I think one needs to really convey those qualities.
So the one who expresses music is very important, but the one who actually interprets it also plays a big role.
Right.
So sounds, were you sensitive to sound when you were little? Do you remember? Because I know you started piano at a very young age, at 3.5, before 4.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask who or what inspired you to actually take up piano lessons or start playing the piano, and were you sensitive to sounds?
I remember I was sensitive to sounds, and I loved playing with my piano in my home. That was my mother's.
Playing with it?
Yeah,
right?
playing with it. Then I started to just play on it a little bit, and then I went to the piano class, and my teacher then was so beautiful. She was really beautiful, and I liked her so much. She was so kind. So I was very fortunate to have her, and everything went pretty smoothly. And I remember the moment that I first reached the octaves in my life. I was 5.5, and I was like trying so hard myself, and then at some point I was really reaching it.
Wow!
So I clearly remember the sound until today.
Wow! At the age of 5.
Yeah, I was tall. Like this height is like when I was very young.
Still, that's amazing for a 5-year-old girl to be able to do that. I took piano lessons too as a little girl, not because I wanted to, but because like many parents, especially moms, they want their children to learn how to play an instrument. Yeah. And I think in many cases it's usually the piano.
Yeah.
I did give up playing the piano after 8 long years of playing.
8 years? Wow.
8 years.
It's a long time.
I know. Yeah. I should have continued. Who knows, right? What did you do when you weren't playing the piano or practicing the piano?
When I was little?
Right.
I was actually reading a lot. I really loved reading. I loved the books. And I love listening to music. So that's those were 2 major things that I was doing. Otherwise, I was doing nothing.
I see. Well, listening to you, I don't think even if I played the piano for longer than 7 years, I would have become a pianist like you. Now, this might be something that all or most instrument players or performers would relate to, but a great number of international performers, they perform pieces by, of course, renowned composers, and they have their own versions or their own interpretations, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you ponder in depth to add your style to each and every piece. How does it work for you?
Oh, well, if you come to think of it, it's actually funny that classical music nowadays, it's not something that you keep creating, but it's just it's about the interpretation, how we interpret the works which was already written before. So I know that many of people out there are criticizing the classical music scene because it seems like it's just not developing anymore.
I see.
But I don't quite think so because music when it's just stayed in whatever way they just were written, like sheets of music or any sort of form of that, then it's no use. It's no it has no life.
Right.
It's like a pile of clothes in a closet or something. So we really make music to live in its own way. So I feel very proud of it. And I think it's just the interpretation doesn't come not much from your intention, but I think it comes rather from your personality, your background of education, your taste, and what you like and what you not like. Those things.
I see. So does, I guess, the way you understand a piece and the way you absorb or digest it and then interpret, I mean, it obviously differs for each individual.
Right.
Never thought of it that way. Now, year 2018 is a special year for you, all the more special. There are several things to congratulate you on. First of all, you were recently appointed to head the jury for the preliminary rounds of the 62nd Ferruccio Busoni International Piano Competition. It's a renowned, it's like one of the most renowned piano concours in the world. So, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel extremely privileged, and I feel very thankful for choosing me to this wonderful chair. And frankly, I don't know how they came to such a decision, because I never was related to this competition. I was never in Bolzano. I never played there. But I think in this time they chose to have like all the younger generation of pianists in the jury panel. So I'm one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are several other jury members that are as young as you, or even younger.
Yeah, even younger than
Even
me.
younger.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Now, also, well, congratulations again on that. And also, you will be the artistic director for the 2018 Pyeongchang Music Festival that's going to be held in Gangwon-do Province, province here in Korea, from the 23rd of July. Quite soon.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're actually here in Korea for this, right, for the preparations. So it must be very special for you, all the more special because you'll be starting your new role as artistic director for a music festival.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a sense of pressure or burden? Because this is like a new role for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it's already July. Yeah, so, yeah, there's a pressure. I mean, it's more like what I create for myself. I mean, the pressure, not from elsewhere, because people are nice. I just myself that I keep creating pressure. But yeah, because I love this festival so much. I was there from the year 2011. I was there every year as an artist. So yeah, I feel very special about it.
Right.
The Pyeongchang Music Festival commenced in 2004, and it grows every year with diverse events and performances by internationally renowned artists. Yeol was appointed as the youngest artistic director of the Pyeongchang Music Festival this March. What kind of a festival is she preparing?
We're talking about feeling a sense of pressure and, burden. But there were artistic directors like Chung Myung-hwan, Chung Kyung.
Yeah.
They've been at the helm of the festival for the past 7 years. But they are in their 70s. And you are in your, if it's okay, early 30s.
Yeah.
So some say that it was quite unexpected for you to be appointed as music director.
Yeah, even to me.
Whole new role.
Yeah.
What do people, like your friends and family, what have they said about this? How do they feel about this?
They were all surprised. Also me, very surprised. Like, yeah, when first time two maestra told me about it, I was like, really? Because I love the festival with all my heart. But I was thinking to myself, maybe, after 20 or 30 years. But then, yeah, it just happened that way. And, yeah.
So, I mean, this is, you of course have a contract, right? So how long will you be?
Well, the contract is for 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, who knows? You can continue until like past 50, until your 70s. Who knows? So, I mean, I'd like to know about the theme for this year's music festival. I'm sure you have like, ambitious goals. So many things you want to achieve and add and throw in. You've got a long, to-do list. But could you tell us about this year's theme?
Well, we have the theme, which is called Curiosity.
Curiosity.
Yeah, that's our theme of the 2018 festival. And in Korean title is Pause and Seek. So it's the Korean title. And it's not necessarily the theme only for the festival, but I thought it might be the phrase which kind of advocates the classical music, because it was one of the questions that I had to keep asking myself constantly. What is classical music? What does it mean, and what it can do to us right now? Because classical music seems to be far away from us, both time-wise, because they were written centuries ago, also location-wise, most of them are written in Europe.
Yeah.
So it seems very far, and also in comparison with the pop culture, let's say, or the entertainment of these days, some people might just feel like it's such a sufficient supply with only of those, because they are also very good. So I was thinking why classical music is so special, and what differs classical music from other things. And I was thinking maybe the essence of classical music is what it makes people contemplate sort of things. So pause and seek is what happens when one contemplates.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought the curiosity between the process or after the process is what really makes one's life completely different. So that's our thing.
Wow. Interesting. And you got me thinking about what classical music is. I think that's a question a lot of people may ask themselves, or even others. What exactly is classical music? And another very common question is, how can you enjoy classical music? Is there a way to do that? I'm not sure if there is like a certain rule or a way to enjoy classical music, but if you could give us some tips or advice on that, how can people really enjoy classical music, and how can they enjoy the music festival, 2018 Music Festival? Yeah.
I think it's very simple. I mean, if one really wants to enjoy music, you have to react to it. Because classical music, especially in Korea, I feel like people kind of tend to be restrained by some kind of pressure. Maybe they were educated as, you have to be quiet, and you have to you shouldn't move in the concert halls, things like that, But I think, of course, that's, it's the adequate that you sort of have to make in the big concert halls or things like that. But still, you have to really react, and you have to, make yourself really into it. And if you hear some kind of music that really speaks to you, you have to also question to those music, not really just stay still. And that's just my philosophy. And as a method, I think it's a very good way to enjoy classical music with the radio channels. Because then you just don't need to really select your own music. But yeah, some people choose for yourself, and things like that. Or if you buy a CD, then let's say it's Mozart concerto, then you can find other works by Mozart, and you can also find concertos by other composers, things like that. So you can actually really navigate from what you have.
I see. And then finally, search for what really works for you, I guess.
Yes, indeed. Right.
Where and what do you see yourself doing in, let's say, 10 years' time? Or what do you hope to be doing maybe 10 years later?
Well, I don't know, because I really don't plan in life at all.
So you just go with the flow as well?
Yeah, because life is like, the famous anecdote that my teacher told me is like, life is what happens when you have another plan.
Nice.
And I'm really agreeing with that. So I really have no plan, but I only hope that I will still play concerts and will still develop as a pianist and as a musician and as a human being.
Okay, so do you have any plans set for the future? Could you also tell us about your future plans, scheduled plans?
The festival is coming up in 2 weeks, so I'm very much looking forward to it. And after that, I'll be in Bolzano for Busoni competition. And starting September, I have quite exciting season of 18-19. So I have many debuts and also many comebacks to familiar places. So I'm very happy to do it.
Yes, I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, and I'd like to thank you for joining us today. I know you have a very busy schedule, and I wish you the best of luck with your new role. I'm sure you'll enjoy every moment of it, and you'll be wonderful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.